the boy. Alright, I guess it's time to shit on Total War Warhammer 3. Because, I've really just been thinking, right? And I'm probably reiterating things I've already said, but, Total War Warhammer is definitely a very niche product. Like, it's a product, and I wish I could full screen this without it taking me to another goddamn site. But it's a product that appeals to people who are into real time grand strategy games. So people who played Shogun, people who played Rome 1 and 2, people who played Attila, right? And the idea is commanding massive armies, going to a thing, beating the fuck out of that thing. And, you have rudimentary, like, city building. And with the Mortals Empires out, there's like 100 and something factions on the map, or like 200 and something factions on the map. So you really have a grand sandbox. This is just like, actually, and again, I should make this big because it's a lot bigger than this. There's like a whole region over here, and there's just plenty of things, plenty of races, plenty of play styles, and plenty of ways to go about going through said play styles. But unfortunately, CA, Creative Assembly, has the idea of any other company that has a monopoly on a very niche product, and they want to, skew and strain the product across many, many months and, fail to actually release anything of value, right? Like they released the Chaos Dwarves, and it's like, okay, what do they cost? Well, they cost like 20 something fucking $25. And what do you get from that $25? You get 3 playable races and like a new legendary lord. Like, I don't remember the game, like, any race being worth that much. Like, when I bought the Vampire Coast in Total Warhammer 2, I don't think they were like, I think they were like $10. But see, Total War Warhammer 2 was just a better game. Like when Total War Warhammer 3 came out, Total War Warhammer 2 got an influx of players, right? People bought 3, and the Immortal Realm wasn't a thing because, well, that would come later. But in Total War Warhammer 3, when Total War Warhammer 3 Realms of Chaos came out, people played it for a little bit, then dropped the hell off the game and went back to 2 because 2 was just a superior product. 2 had the Mortal Empires, which wasn't the whole world, but it was just, in a better state, right? It had more of the races at the time, and unfortunately, the story and stuff behind Total Warhammer 3 was kind of goofy. It's like they took in the demons, which was this overarching, like imagine like Total War, like not Total War, like Warhammer 40K, like the warp and the demons there, and imagine them being reduced to just any old faction in the world, right? So they have the same like technologies, they have the same way of doing battle, albeit a couple of interesting mechanics. That's pretty much what they did with the demons and Total Warhammer Fantasy. Like they just fight like any other faction. At least when it came out. Now they made like I think they made the Chaos Wars of Chaos objectively better now. When in Total Warhammer 1 they were trash. Like even me as the fucking vampire counts would fucking blast Chaos, which is odd because like they're the end game baddie, but then some goofy bone boys in like Sylvania just smacking their ass around. It's like, this just doesn't seem real. And again, this is 25. And the Chaos Dwarves, they seem like a genuinely decent faction. And I don't know, I might end up coughing up the $25 eventually because I modded the game, right? I put titties in this fucking game, and that's why I keep fucking playing it. And imagine the fact that mods is what makes me keep playing the game, not the base game itself, right? Because you look at this and it looks cool, right? You have, I'm guessing these are Empire guys throwing hands with orcs and the giant in the background. And again, if this isn't your niche, it's fine, but you know, you gotta admit, what? This is a fucking mod. You gotta admit that it just looks, and thematically, right? Thematically, it looked cool. It's just unfortunately with the release of 3, and another scummy thing is they've secretly rose the price of the other factions from like $5, $4.99, $3.99 to $9.99 because you know you can just buy. There's certain factions that come with DLC, and I think they force you to buy like these like DLCs just to get the faction, but you could just purchase the factions individually, and it was like $4, $5.99, and yeah, I think I have Steam pulled up, right? Total Warhammer 3, right? Say, the Shadows of Change. If you want to buy just 3 new legendary lords, it costs you $25 just to buy factions that will probably act like any other faction in the game. If you want the Chaos Dwarfs, $25 fucking dollars to play 3 races that are kind of just like the regular dwarfs, but with a hell of a lot better artillery and cool looking units and a completely different like side of the Warhammer world. Oh yeah, they also did this odd thing where if you want to see blood and gore and raise the ESRB of your game, you gotta play for like $4, which odd. Champions of Chaos. If you want 4 new playable races, that's $16. If you want to play the ogres, I got this from the pre-order, which was like 6-ish. I don't want to talk out my ass. I think it was like 6 extra bucks, but if you want to play a single race, which is the ogres, which is just 2 lords, you need like $12. Silence Fears, yeah, they have these, I can't remember what they were even called. Because it was a new, like, rivalry pack, I think. Silence and Fury, so if you want to play a Beastman and a Lizardman Lord, $10. If you want to play a Skaven and or a Wood Elf Lord, $10. Right? A High Elf or a Orc, $10. Again, they've secretly rose the price of playing these lords and the Hunter and the Beast, you know, $10. Actually, I might actually think about getting this because I know this guy. That the Empire has this goofy mechanic where you have to defend these elector counts, and when I played it, it was the dumbest fucking implication. Like they die within 3 fucking turns of the game. It is impossible to actually 1 save all 3 of them, 2 save 1 of them, 3 raise an army strong enough to protect them, 4 raise an army strong enough to protect them, and to go to one of them and try to. It is just such a dumbass implication that they just didn't think about. They're like, oh, no one plays the Empire, so let's just add a mechanic that trash, right? And this guy doesn't suffer from that. Prophet and the Warlock, $10. Again, it's just, if you want, oh my fucking god, if you want to play one of my favorite factions in the entire damn game, $19. You have got to be, and again, what came with the $10, I think like 12 that I paid, was they had they had completely different types of units. Like imagine the vampires, but with guns and cannons, and they had their own campaign, right? They had their own starting points. They had cool fucking units. And they've built this faction from the ground up, right? Like I think only a couple of like like the units were like in some sort of book, like the Monsters Arcana of Total War Fantasy. Queen and the Crown. Again, if you want to play a high elf and a dark elf, $10. Oh my fucking god, and the fucking Tomb Kings, right? They also had a completely different type of mechanic, a completely different playstyle, right? Their units do not have any upkeep. The problem is their base units are trash. Their stomping power comes from their constructs. And again, it also forces you to expand, because to get the good units you need the buildings. Now you can only have so many buildings in a settlement or a province, right? And you can only have one of them per city. And obviously the bigger cities can have better buildings. So this forced you to expand, right? Even if you didn't want to. And from expanding, from getting more armies, that's how you get your big boofy units. I never really liked Norska. Don't know. I know in 2 they made them a hell of a lot better. But I never really liked Norska. If you want to play the fucking Wood Elves, $18, $19 please. And see, and this is the tragic thing, right? Because they've made CA made some goofy ass decisions in the past. Like, their idea is, let's make the player pay for our shitty decisions down the road. Like, this is their mindset, right? It's like, oh, we made a terrible fucking decisions with hyenas, which was the goofiest shit I've ever heard in my life, and Sega smacked us down for it. Oh, I guess we'll just we'll make the players pay for it, right? That is their fucking mindset. The Wars of Chaos is only, I'm surprised it's only $7.99. This is for Total Warhammer 1, right? And the rest of these are 2. Now, credit where credit's due, right? They made it to where you do not have to own all 3 of the Total War Warhammer games to play the Immortal Empires. It's just, like, if you want to play the races that were in 2, again, you can either buy them separately or just buy 2, which gives you access to all of them. And again, the game is moddable, but it's kind of finicky. And with every update, it effectively makes your older saves useless, which is goofy because you usually have to start all over on most campaigns. But I mean, that decision to, so you don't have to shill out like extra money just to get the full experience, that's a good thing. And at least they are still adding, and they're still fixing bugs, right? And giving free LC. It's just, again, I don't understand this idea of, oh, you want, again, this isn't even a new race. These are just 3 extra legendary lords of races that already exist, right? You can, okay, this is a new race, so you can kind of justify a higher price. Not no 25 fucking dollars, but at least a somewhat higher price. But again, there's no reason to pay $25 for these. They're lords of races that already exist. I mean, maybe they have newer mechanics. I don't know. I don't care. But Anyway, and it's just tragic that, again, yet another good IP is getting drugged through the dirt because the parent company is making piss poor decisions. And, it's like, I guess they just don't know what to do with Total Warhammer 3, but it's like like, it's effectively their passion project. Like, they tried to make the Total War Saga games and failed because people didn't care for Pharaoh or Three Kingdoms all that much, or I can't even remember what the fucking other one is. I don't think I care. And got smacked for it. So, I mean, anyway, it's just tragic that, again, they have the market. They've cornered the market, and they know that they have the niche market and audience and consumers to buy it, but they're just deliberately choosing to fail and not actually come out with a decent products or to build upon what they've had, like the good things they've had in Total Warhammer, Grant even 1 and 2. They're just flaunting on 3. It's just doesn't make any sense to me. But well, anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.